Melody's Shari just made an announcement that no one saw coming, and it has left fans and critics completely speechless. She's officially leaving Love and Marriage Huntsville, and with that one decision, she's shaken up the entire reality TV world. But this isn't just about leaving a show. It's the end of a chapter that fans have been deeply connected to. For years, Melody has inspired people with her strength, honesty, and the way she handled every situation with grace. Viewers have followed her journey, rooting for her through all the highs and lows. Now, she's ready for a fresh start. It's an emotional goodbye, but one thing is for sure. This is just the beginning of something new. Melody has been through it all: love, betrayal, heartbreak, and victory. But no matter what, she always held her head high with grace. Over the years, she became more than just a reality TV star. People saw their own struggles in her story, and that made her someone to look up to. But behind the cameras and bright lights, there was a side of fame no one talked about. Side Melody couldn't ignore anymore. Her decision to leave wasn't sudden or dramatic. It came after too many sleepless nights, endless doubts, and the kind of exhaustion that slowly wears you down. Beneath all the glitz and attention, she was struggling, and deep down, she knew it was time for a change. Melody was holding onto a truth she couldn't ignore anymore. The show that once gave her a voice and a purpose had started to feel different, heavy, toxic, and exhausting. At first, she told herself she could handle it, that this was just part of the journey, that success always comes with a little hate. But the real heartbreak? The negativity wasn't just from strangers online. It came from people she trusted, people she laughed with, shared secrets with, and once called friends. Even some who claimed to support her were part of the problem. And that kind of betrayal hurt the most. The negativity was crushing, and the betrayal hurt more than she ever imagined. But giving up, that wasn't an option. Melody had worked too hard to just walk away. She kept pushing, telling herself to rise above it. She reminded herself why she started: to inspire, to empower, to make a difference. But no matter how much she tried to stay focused, things kept getting worse. The energy around her turned toxic, and the hate kept growing. And the hardest part? It wasn't just about what she did. It felt personal. They questioned her character, doubted her integrity, and made her out to be the villain. Every move she made was judged, every word twisted, every emotion picked apart. They called her difficult, dramatic, ungrateful, telling whatever story suited them. But what they didn't see was the real Melody. Behind the strong, confident woman on screen was a person with real feelings, real struggles, and a heart that could only take so much. And this is where her true strength showed. Because despite everything, no matter how much negativity came her way, she kept moving forward. She showed up, spoke her truth, and followed her dreams. But the more she tried to rise above it, the harder they tried to bring her down. They wanted to break her, silence her, and erase everything she had built. What they didn't realize was just how strong she really was. This isn't just about leaving a reality show, it's about choosing herself. Melody realized that no amount of success was worth losing who she was. She finally saw that no amount of fame, success, or recognition was worth losing her peace, integrity, or happiness. So, Melody made the hardest choice of her life, to walk away from something she once loved to protect what truly mattered. But she didn't leave with anger or bitterness. She didn't try to get even or call out those who hurt her. Instead, she chose to walk away with grace, dignity, and a heart full of gratitude. She thanked her fans for always standing by her and the viewers who saw her for who she truly was. And even her critics, without realizing it, had only made her stronger. She showed that walking away isn't giving up. It's choosing peace. But the most powerful part? Melody isn't just leaving. She's rising. She's stepping into something bigger, chasing bolder dreams, and moving forward with a clear vision and a spirit that won't break. She's starting a new chapter. One, without negativity, drama, or doubt. This time she's in control, writing her own story her way, with no apologies and no regrets. And just wait until you hear how one announcement changed everything. Melody's Shari didn't just leave Love and Marriage Huntsville, she took back her story. She reclaimed her power and proved she's so much more than a reality TV star. She's a mother, an entrepreneur, an inspiration, and a woman who refuses to let anyone else define her. But this isn't the end. It's just the beginning. One chapter may be over, but she's stepping into a future that's brighter than ever, because every ending leads to a new start, and Melody is ready to rise higher than ever before. Stay tuned, because Melody Shari's story is just getting started. This is how a queen walks away. Head high, heart full of hope, and eyes locked on the future. She's not just leaving, she's rising, and no amount of hate can stop her. But let's get one thing straight. Melody didn't leave Love and Marriage Huntsville just because she wanted to. Her decision was deeper, more emotional, and more painful than anyone could have imagined. To the world, it looked like a strong woman making a bold choice, but what people didn't see was the pain, the betrayal, and the toxic energy that made walking away her only option. This wasn't something that started when the cameras came on. It had been building for a long time. Melody joined reality TV with a purpose. She wanted to inspire, to show that strength and grace could exist even in the middle of heartbreak and struggle. She believed in being real, sharing her truth, and uplifting others through her journey. But she never expected that the very platform meant to elevate her voice would eventually. What was supposed to lift her up became the very thing that tried to tear her down. The criticism Melody faced wasn't just about what she did on the show. It was personal. They didn't just question her actions. They attacked her character, doubted her integrity, and judged her every move. They called her manipulative, dramatic, and cold-hearted. Every word she spoke was twisted, every action picked apart, and they turned her into the villain of a story she never wrote. But the hardest part? The hate didn't just come from viewers. It came from... The attacks didn't just come from strangers. They came from people she trusted, people she once called friends, even those who acted like they had her back. That's when the toxic energy started to take its toll. Melody tried to push through. She kept telling herself that criticism was just part of success, that it came with the journey. She reminded herself why she started: to inspire, empower, and uplift others. But no matter how hard she tried, the negativity wouldn't stop. And it wasn't just online trolls, it was real people, making it their mission to tear her down. The hardest part wasn't the public judgment, it was the betrayal. Melody trusted people who turned on her without warning. She believed in friendships that, in the end, were nothing more than deception and manipulation. The same people who smiled in her face were the ones tearing her down behind her back. They spread rumors, exaggerated conflicts, and twisted the truth to fit their own narratives. And it wasn't just about drama, it was about making themselves look good at her expense. But this was the moment everything changed. Here's the truth. Melody didn't back down. She stood tall, stayed true to herself, and refused to let negativity break her. No matter how much pressure she faced, she wasn't about to lose herself in the chaos. She knew that if she walked away, people would talk. Some would call it weakness, say she couldn't handle the pressure, but the reality was much deeper. Behind the scenes, she was struggling with anxiety, sleepless nights, and emotional exhaustion. The negativity was draining her, and sooner or later, something had to change. The stress was overwhelming, creeping into every part of her life. She began to question herself, doubt her worth, and wonder if any of it was even worth it. But the hardest part? She didn't want to leave, not because she needed the show, but because she didn't want to let down the people who believed in her, the ones who saw their own struggles in her story. Still, the pressure was suffocating. Every day felt like a fight. Every episode felt like a test. She was constantly forced to relive her pain, face her past, and defend herself against non-stop accusations. The show that once gave her a voice had turned into something that tried to silence her. But the real issue wasn't just the show. It was the toxic atmosphere, the fake friendships, and the non-stop negativity that followed her everywhere. That's when Melody realized leaving wasn't quitting, it was saving herself. No level of fame, success, or recognition was worth losing her peace. Staying would have meant sacrificing her happiness, her integrity, and everything she stood for. So, she made the only choice that felt right. Walking away from something she once loved was the hardest decision she ever made. But it was the only way to protect what truly mattered. What makes Melody's story different? this wasn't just about leaving a reality show. It was about taking back control of her life. She refused to let others twist her truth, define her story, or decide her worth. She chose herself, even when it meant stepping away from the spotlight. She made the brave decision to break free from the negativity, rise above the drama, and create a life that was truly her own. The most unexpected part? Melody didn't leave with anger or bitterness. She didn't try to get even or call out those who hurt her. Instead, she walked away with grace, dignity, and a heart full of gratitude. She thanked her fans for standing by her, the viewers who saw her for who she truly was, and even her critics for making her stronger. She showed that leaving isn't about giving up. It's about knowing when to move on. But here's what's truly powerful. Melody isn't just walking away, she's rising above it all. She's stepping into something bigger, stronger, and better, with bigger dreams, a fearless vision, and an unstoppable spirit. Melody is stepping into a new chapter, one without drama, negativity, or doubt. This time, she's in control, writing her story the way it was meant to be told, on her own terms, with no apologies and no regrets. And here's the moment that changed everything. One decision shifted her entire path. Melody Shari didn't just walk away from Love and Marriage Huntsville. She took back her power. She proved that real strength isn't about staying in a toxic situation. It's about knowing when to walk away. She showed the world that choosing yourself isn't weakness. It's the boldest move you can make. No matter the betrayal, pain, or constant negativity, Melody stood tall. She handled it all with grace, stayed true to herself, and proved that nothing could break her. But this isn't the end. It's the start of something even greater. Leaving the show isn't walking away. It's walking toward a future brighter than anyone could have imagined. Because every ending opens the door to a new beginning, and Melody is ready to soar higher than ever. This is how a true queen moves forward, head high, heart full of hope, and eyes focused on what's ahead. Melody Shari isn't just leaving, she's rising. Melody isn't just leaving, she's rising above it all, and no amount of hate can hold her back. The negativity she faced wasn't just criticism, it was constant, harsh, and deeply personal. What started as simple opinions turned into direct attacks on her character, twisting her words and questioning her every move. But through it all, she refused to let the hate define her. They didn't just criticize her, they dragged her family into it, even targeting her children. But the deepest betrayal, it wasn't just from strangers online. It came from people she trusted, people she once considered friends, and even those who should have had her back. But if there's one thing about Melody, it's that she doesn't fold under pressure. No matter how much they tried to bring her down, she kept standing, stronger than ever. Melody stepped into reality TV with a purpose: to inspire, to show that strength and vulnerability could coexist, and to prove that women could rise above challenges and take control of their own stories. But she never expected the price of being real. From day one, she was unapologetically herself. She spoke her truth, shared her struggles, and stood by her beliefs. She didn't fake it for the cameras, and she refused to play a role. What you saw was the real Melody. And while that honesty won her admiration, it also made her a target. Melody refused to change for anyone. She wasn't there to play a role or fit into someone else's idea of who she should be. She was real, honest, confident, and unapologetically herself. And that's exactly why she became a target. People couldn't handle her strength. Her independence made them uncomfortable. Instead of respecting her resilience, they tried to break her. But here's the truth. It was never just about what she did on the show. It was about who she was. They called her arrogant, selfish, and cold-hearted. Every choice she made was questioned, every move picked apart. Yet through it all, Melody never backed down. Every step she took was met with criticism. Every word she spoke was twisted into something it wasn't. They took her story, flipped it, and painted her as the villain. But here's what they didn't see: the real Melody, the woman behind the cameras, a person with real emotions, real struggles, and a heart that had already been through more than most could imagine. This wasn't just criticism, it wasn't just judgment. It was a full-blown attempt to tear her down. They didn't just want to discredit her, they wanted to erase her. They attacked her as a mother, as a woman, and as a person simply trying to live her truth.